Hey everybody, it's your boy Dimebag Dolly for Dimebag TV. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people probably already heard by now about the allegations. Jordan Chariton is accused by former employees of sexual abuse and harassment. There were a couple of articles on the Huffington Post that came out last night, but then quickly removed. But Jordan Chariton statement he wrote was not took down, so I don't understand why the Huffington Post took their stuff down. But we all know once it's on the internet, it's there forever. And so I was able to find one of the articles, and I do have Jordan Chariton article. So the first thing I'm going to do is read the article talking about the allegations by these women against Jordan Chariton. People know who Jordan Chariton is. He's a TYT investigative journalist. He was out there in Standing Rock. He was up there in Flint, doing reports on the Flint water crisis and all other kind of stuff. So just going to get into gist of stuff. And I just want people to understand these women haven't went publicly yet. Jordan Chariton jumped ahead of it when he knew this stuff was about to drop. He got out there with his statement he put on Medium. So you can find that on Medium at Jordan Chariton's Medium page. So I'm going to start off. It says, TYT Politics and Truth Against the Machine reported Jordan Chariton has been accused by several former employees and colleagues of incidents of sexual misconduct, including assault. Carly Hammond, a former Truth Against the Machine reporter, told me in detail her relationship with Chariton and about an incident where he raped her. Now, this is some serious stuff. Whenever somebody say that they rape, you got to take this shit seriously, but you just can't automatically assume that somebody else is guilty neither. Hammond met Chariton through Z. Cohen, another accuser, whom she connected with while covering the water crisis in Flint. Hammond joined Truth shortly thereafter and worked with Chariton on covering Flint several more times in person. In May of 2017, Chariton, Hammond, and Chariton's TYT cameraman Ty Bayless and a TATM reporter Chelsea Lyons went out for drinks to celebrate a new story. They returned to Jordan Chariton's hotel room wasted. That's what the lady told this reporter that wrote this article, that they came back to Jordan Chariton's room tore up. Of course I accepted, said Hammond, because I wanted to feel accepted, like validated by Jordan and Ty, whom I had admired for a long time. Hammond told me. It was an opportunity to develop closer ties with people who could take me places. Jordan would consistently remind me he has tons of connections, that I'm very talented and skilled, and he could help me be a star. And this is what a lot of these guys do in these positions of power. They use that. This is a young up and coming reporter. She wanna move up the ladder. Jordan Chariton telling her, "Hey, I got connections. I can help you out." So she like, cool. Of course, I accepted because that's the wrong part. Sorry. In a statement released prior to this story, Chariton reported on that night in question they only drank a few beers and nobody was drunk. That's in his Medium article that Chariton posted on Medium. He said that they only drank a few beers, everybody was sober, nobody was intoxicated. Hammond changed into a bathing suit and got into her hotel room's hot tub. Jordan was in there in his boxers, and I'm pretty sure Chelsea was just naked, but I was too drunk to care, she recalled. Ty got in later with more alcohol, which they all consumed. So they was getting tore up in their hot tub, and people know, whenever there's alcohol involved, Shit happens. Shit happens. Chariton eventually left the hot tub and went to bed. Hammond told me that Bayless and Lyons were making out, and after some time she decided to get up and go to bed. The group had invited her to spend the night in the hotel room, and the only bed for her was the one Chariton was sleeping in. She recalls that he was snoring loudly, and she assumed he was asleep for the night, so she laid down for bed. The next thing she remembers is Lyons on top of her, trying to kiss her, and her top was removed. I tried turning over and pushing her off of me, and she just pulled me back, Hammond said. Ty was there too. He tried to kiss me. All I could do was think, no. And let's be clear, I said it too. Not loudly, I couldn't yell, but if somebody looked at that face and asked themselves if I wanted any of this, the answer would have been no. Lyons eventually gave up on Hammond and woke Jordan Chariton up. Hammond remembers her saying, "She's beautiful. Enjoy her." Chariton replied, "Are you sure?" But he wasn't talking to me, Hammond said. He didn't take his dick out, Hammond continued, but pretty much everything else he could do, he did. So Jordan was like, "You don't mind?" Oh shit, it's on and cracking. At some point, Hammond said that she came to her senses and was able to kick Chariton, at which point he began to apologize and told her to get dressed, and he took her out into the lobby where he became tender and affectionate. Hammond had already survived sexual assault before and didn't know how to respond. "I choose to do the dumbest thing imaginable and accept responsibility for what happened," Hammond explained. "It was utterly my fault. And good that it happened because Jordan is the best and would never lie to me. And he's so great. So what the hell? Might as well just believe everything he says because he's 11 years older than me. And I don't want him to want to go through feeling like a victim again." So she didn't even want to feel like a victim again. She was like, "I think this is a great guy. Blase, blase." Complicating the matter is what happened 2 weeks later. At Chariton's suggestion, Hammond spent her own money to fly to New York to work with Chariton on more reporting. "I knew from the first minute I got to his apartment that everything was a total lie. He said that I would stay with him and he would sleep in the loft. I took one look up there and it was full of boxes and dark and dusty. The work Chariton asked her to do turned out not to exist, and Hammond felt like she had been trapped. It took until the 4th day that I couldn't ignore it anymore, realizing he's horrible. I booked the soonest flight I could afford for $400 and I had in my bank account. This is important because Chariton's defense of his actions hinges on the idea that Hammond and him were intimate even after the incident in the hotel room. But that is evidence of nothing. Studies show that as many as 62% of women blame themselves after being raped, and abuse victims in general are likely to stay with their abusers for some time before working up the courage to leave. Z. Cohen, Chariton's former colleague at both TYT Politics and Truth Against the Machine, has come out in support of Hammond after initially disbelieving her. Regardless of what went down, Hammond felt assaulted. And instead of Jordan apologizing to her, he claims she's crazy, and so am I for believing her. Cohen eventually left Truth Against the Machine. Several other former employees of Chariton have come forward in support of Hammond and to tell their own stories of sexist and inappropriate sexual behaviors at the hands of Jordan Chariton. So it's multiple women saying that this dude be doing some nasty stuff. Talara Griffin, another former Truth reporter, recounts that at the Truth Against the Machine summit that took place in New York on Saturday the 11th and the 12th, Chariton behaved inappropriately and abusively towards her and others. Her story reads eerily similar to Hammond's. Many of Truth journalists, including Gene Dees as well as Chariton and editor-in-chief Sam also went out and got drunk together. We went back to Jordan's. A bunch of people were on the bed, including Jordan and I. He passed out. I would up passing out on the bed too. I woke up to Jean aggressively pulling me up by both my arms, telling me I had to wake up. Griffin maintains that she fell asleep with a blanket and a pillow between herself and Chariton. But Dees was worried. Griffin says that she froze up, having past trauma associated with being poor, and Dees asked some of the men in the group to lift her up. Trust me, there's a reason she can't be in there, Griffin recalls Dees saying. Dees contests this version of events and said that she never touched Griffin without the help of several other women. Griffin was brought to an Airbnb that was rented for the journalists at the summit. The next day, Griffin said she was accused of embracing Jordan. She was informed that people were spreading rape accusations about Chariton in order to take him down. That was the reason given for her being manhandled in bed so badly that it left bruises. And he's showing bruises on this woman's arms. After learning the truth about Carly Hedman's allegations against Chariton, Griffin said that she believed the story completely. She gave me a statement which reads, "It's difficult for me to put this into words. I have become friends with Jordan while working with him over the past year, and I wanted to look past his sexist behaviors, but I can't. He talks down to women regularly, dismisses their professional experience, and tells them they should keep him happy because, as he says, I have connections, I can help you succeed. I heard him objectively to women he worked with both at TNT and Truth Against the Machine, and I have seen him play the victim and react passive-aggressively when women have spurned his advances. Because I've witnessed these behaviors, while I didn't want to believe he would go as far as to physically, sexually assault someone, the information I have been given in conjunction with what I have witnessed of him leads me to believe the testimony of the woman who have come forward." So this woman, which in this little testimony, she said she seen him do inappropriate stuff and act inappropriate. So, former Truth reporter Paula Martinez Bean, who was also present at the summit until being fired suddenly, corroborated Chariton's sexist and abusive behavior and will be publishing her own story in the near future. So now this woman says she gonna bring her story out too. Chariton, I hope you got proof that protects yourself, man, because it's different when it's one woman claiming this stuff happened, but when multiple women are saying that you did this stuff, it's people start thinking. I can understand maybe one person could be lying, but when you start bringing in multiple women, that's a problem, dude. That's a fucking problem. So I'm really hoping that this shit ain't right, man. Because if not, dude, you're going to be in some shit, man. Some fucked up shit if it's true. Another former reporter, Ruel James, said that he believes the allegations against Chariton and reported that one of the reasons he left the outlet was that Jordan brings people on the team to sleep with him. He plans on telling his own experiences soon as well. So this person is going to come out and tell his experience and said this is a pattern Jordan brings these women on and they do this stuff. Chariton released a statement in anticipation of these allegations, roundly denying them and giving his own version of events. TYT Network has apparently put him on administrative leave until they can conduct an investigation. Other women who had relationships with Chariton in the past corroborated his behavior and told of future sexual abuse, but declined to have their stories included in this article. One said that she is afraid he has lewd photographs of her from their time together and will use them to embarrass her if she comes forward. They say they'll upstate the story as more associates of Chariton come forward, and several are planning to do so. Man, Jordan, dude, I don't know what to fucking say, man, but it's a lot. This is more than one person that's saying this stuff. And when it's more than one person, that creates a problem. Now, Jordan Chariton, he wrote a rebuttal, defending himself to get the narrative out there. They took these articles off of the Huffington Post. It was 2 articles. They got removed. I don't know if somebody from TYT like, hey, call the Huffington Post, take this stuff down. I don't know. But it's just kind of weird. If you didn't have, if you are innocent, Jordan Chariton, they should have let them post, stayed up there and let people see the evidence, show your evidence, and that's all you can do. But when posts get removed and articles get removed, but your stuff still is readily available, that raises another red flag. I'm not saying you did it, but it raises another red flag. And I wouldn't be surprised that Jordan Chariton even participated in behavior like this, because he's a little arrogant prick, and I seen him do some stuff to other people that was shameless and disgusting. So it serves him right, and karma is a bitch. And I'm pretty sure right now, as we speak, Jordan Chariton knows what the hell really went on, and that if he actually did this stuff, he's probably scared because his career is going to be done. Completely done. And it serves him right if he did this stuff. I'm not saying that he did, but if he did, he deserves to lose his job at TYT and stuff. He's a fucking sexual predator if this stuff is true. And he shouldn't get a pass. It's guys like this that just fuck up the game, dude. Just spit some game on him. He's taking advantage of these women that's trying to get their foot in the door in this field, and they trust in this guy, and he's using his power and clout to gain sexual favors from these women and to do sexual things to them. In return, giving them false promises that he can make them famous and get them into big opportunities in the reporting field and stuff because of the people he know. So Jordan Chariton wrote a Medium article explaining his absence, TYT absence. So I'm going to read Jordan Chariton's article he wrote in Medium talking about this. For TYT viewers who watched me for 2 years, you heard me say I got to keep it real thousands of times. In that spirit, I have chosen to engage in radical transparency about the disturbing situation that's been brewing in my life for months. This is an important time for women and male victims of sexual violation, and I commend the immense coverage it takes for them to come forward as I relate the following. It is which mindfulness that our culture needs to overcome toxic masculinity and move aggressively towards equality and nonviolence. I also want to emphasize that one incident should not change the fact that victims deserve our help and belief. It came to my attention in June that a consensual sexual encounter I had was being portrayed in gossip as something else. Out of respect for the woman at the center of this story, whom I will not name without her consent, I choose not to escalate the situation and foolishly stay silent in hopes it will go away. If we are learning anything in the current landscape, it is that silence that serves no one. I have tremendous respect for women and believe completely that consistent must be must be affirmative and ongoing throughout sexual intimacy. Consent. We are responsible for checking in with our sexual partners throughout to see if they are still feeling safe, happy, and into it, no matter how the event begins. If we notice a change in our partner's enthusiasm, we need to stop immediately. If they're not feeling 100% comfortable. During my encounter with the woman in question, I followed this principle completely. The woman in question and another woman in our group of friends, it was me and 3 other people, began kissing and touching each other. So I left them and went to bed. Sometime after that, the man in the group woke me up to show that said woman had come to my bed with another woman. They were having oral sex with one another, and I was asked to participate. I have written statements from the other 2 people in the room confirming that they heard me ask the woman receiving oral sex if she was okay if I could approach her intimately, and most importantly, heard her consent. During the night, we had a few beers, but nobody was drunk. Eventually, we paired off, and I was directly intimate with this woman. During foreplay, she made a sound that made me question whether she was still happy with what was going on. I stopped immediately, and she confessed that she had grown distressed about the impact of our intimacy on her marriage. I immediately ended the intimacy and requested that we sit up and talk. We did not have sexual penetration. We spent the next few hours talking, first in the hotel room, then moving to the lobby where we remained, talking and engaging in non-sexual affection into the morning. She was sitting on my lap with her arm wrapped around me for much of this period as we talked between 5 and 6 a.m. We both went to sleep, and I woke up soon after to get ready to head to the airport to fly home. Jordan Sheridan said, the next morning, the woman contacted me on Facebook saying, thanks for sacrificing sleep to talk to me last night. I really appreciate it. This was in reference to us staying up, talking in the hotel lobby. The following day, she asked me on Facebook, so when do you want to come to New York? Want me to come to New York? I have numerous screenshots of some conversations they had, all showing that her tone and attitude toward me did not change after our night at the hotel room. There was never a hint of dismay, hurt, or fear of me. If anything, she expressed more interest, asking to visit and explore our relationship. She flew to New York, during which time we were intimate. See, Jordan said when she came to New York, they was intimate. She said something totally different. However, after I expressed that my goal of having children would make a relationship impossible, she said she didn't want them, and me having to calm her down later in the week because she had drank too much. And he said he has a witness to who can confirm her attitude changed abruptly. She flew home and told me she no longer wanted to see me, which I respected. I offered to talk so we could have proper closure, but she declined. Soon after her return home, I was advised that she had changed her depiction of events in May and had begun telling friends that she was starting to remember things differently. Not wanting to disrupt any recollection she might be trying to affect with her husband, I let it go. Something I deeply regret. My instinct was to approach her because I was horrified if a woman thought I had taken advantage of her. But the friend that told me about her allegation talked me out of it for fear that the woman would be upset, she told me, because I had sought and received her affirmative consent at every opportunity. It never occurred to me that the situation could take a dark turn. In recent days, I learned that this woman and a group of others with a vendetta against me for unrelated reasons have been targeting my professional colleagues and plotting to try to take me down. Their plotting got so in-depth and frankly irrational that theories were posed suggesting, since I worked on Bill O'Reilly's floor at Fox News 8 years ago, for 4 months, they should find women I work with there to come forward. They were also talking about digging into my college days. They will also talk about asking women about their encounters with me that I never ever met. There were also false stories told by one person in particular which has a proven track record of lying, about her asking for a piece of paper and me opening the door naked and handing it to her. This did not happen. Since I have nothing to hide, I decided to proactively inform my bosses at Young Turks of the situation. This was not easy, but I believe the truth always wins out. Shank Ugert is the first media figure that truly gave me a chance. Out of respect for that, I wanted him to know the truth and not be blindsided by any evolution in this situation. In response, TYT did what I viewed to be the correct thing. They immediately placed me on administrative leave and hired an outside investigator. I won't get in details of the investigation, but I'm 100% confident that it will confirm everything I shared. Here to be truthful, and I'm almost 100% confident that if people seek to speak to women I currently work with or have worked with in the past, they would describe professionalism and supportive behavior. If this woman chooses to come forward publicly, I would defend myself and provide evidence of my innocence. I hope it doesn't come to that. Something happened to the article. It just disappeared. So, I mean, people get the gist pretty much of what the fuck's going on. I don't know what to say, Jordan Chariton, but it's multiple women saying that you did inappropriate things, and other people that said they witnessed, disturbing behavior from you, and you used your position of authority to gain sexual favors with these women. I don't know if it's true. I wasn't there. If you got evidence, brother, I'm just giving you some advice. You need to get that stuff ready. Because if these women come out, and I'm not saying you did anything, but this is some serious allegations, man. Some serious allegations. I don't like to see nobody be accused of something they didn't do, but if you did this, you are a sick son of a bitch, and you get what's coming to you. And if you didn't do this, and these women are lying, then they deserve to get what's coming to them. But a lot of the times when it's multiple women saying that you did this stuff, then it probably was some foul play. I don't know. I'm just reading. I'm going to continue to cover this story because I think it's fascinating. Plus, I can't stand Jordan Chariton. I think he's an arrogant prick. And I seen some stuff that he did to some other people that I thought was real shitty and shady. And karma is a bitch. So, Jordan Chariton, I don't wish no ill will against you, brother. If these women are lying, then they should be punished for lying, because nobody deserves to have these type of allegations thrown against them, and they're not true. But if they're true, you get what you deserve. You get what you deserve. Because I've seen you do some sick shit. And that's all I got to say. I'm Dimebag Darley for Dimebag TV. And Jordan Chariton, if you're using your power influence over these young women that's trying to get themselves in the reporting game and in the journalism field, and if you're using your power of your position of power at TYT and at Truth Against the Machine to get sexual favors for these women, then shame on you. And you make it a lot harder for normal guys to communicate with women or just have a working relationship with women because they're going to always think somebody's trying to hit on them. You know, if you see an attractive woman, go spit some game on her. You know, don't be trying to fuck your colleagues. You know, keep that stuff professional. Then you don't have to worry about dealing with stuff like this instead of being some little horny bastard. If you like the content, please share, subscribe to the channel. You can follow me on Facebook at Dimebag TV. You can follow me on Periscope at Dimebag TV and on Twitter at Dimebag TV. Peace, and I'm out.